What's going on YouTube? This video right here is going to be a quick response video to Todd Matsuoka. If you don't follow him, if you're not subscribed to him, check his channel after this video. Subscribe to him, check out his videos. Basically, the last video he made was he was talking about cast belts versus 2mm thick belts, which is a constant debate with collectors and whatnot, and new collectors. That it's a constant question that they come up with and they ask with. And let's be honest here, the cast replica belts are the way to go. But most of them, well, actually every one of them, because some of them definitely aren't accurate as when it comes to TV accurate, but you can't beat 4mm thick and deep etching. Yeah, and then you can't. I mean, you might not call them cast, because I know they call them next generation, but it's still better than 2mm thick. But there's always a but. To me, as a collector, the logo does mean a lot. And by logo, I mean the old school scratch WWF logo on these belts. The Winged Eagle, and before I continue with this, the Winged Eagle, I did have a WWF Winged Eagle. It was 2mm thick. And the only knock that I had with that belt was that with the Winged Eagle, to me personally, it's a belt that needs detail. Like, that stamped replica is nice, but it doesn't do the belt any justice. And the same could be said about these two belts, and that's why the cast, Big Eagle is a beautiful belt. And maybe one day I'll get it just to have it alongside the WWF logo. The Smoking Skull, they don't have a cast version. The only way to get something close to it is either you buy a real one, you find one, or you go to Classic Shields. But the Winged Eagle, the new next generation one, it just looks good to me. The detail in some of the areas is not completely accurate because the bars aren't attached. But the new version I seen that WWE shop release, it has a curve in it. You can find a way to attach the sidebars. You get it re-leathered. It's gonna be as close as the Master Series, I guess, or the real thing as you can get for the price you're getting it at. And comparing, the Winged Eagle to a real belt, or the next generation Winged Eagle to a real handmade belt, you can't really get the logo on that belt anyways, unless you're gonna pay an extra $2,000 for just the logo. It's not worth it, in my opinion. It's not. So that's my little debate on that and my exception with the Winged Eagle. But my belts that I would keep, he said 5 belts that you would keep that are 2mm thick. And I actually have 4 belts that I would actually keep, and that's like, obviously I have them in my collection right here. Undisputed V2, WWF Smoking Skull, WWF Big Eagle, and my Undisputed V1. Now the V1 doesn't really mean that much to me. I love the belt, and I don't mind keeping it in my collection. But for me, in my collection, it's based on superstars who've held the belt, superstars, who made a name of themselves holding the title, etc., etc. Now, Triple H was the first actual person to hold this belt, and I'm not saying anything negative about Triple H. Hogan held the belt. Undertaker held the belt. I think those were the only 3 that actually held the V1. But, as most know, The Rock is my favorite wrestler, and he actually held the V2. The Rock actually held the Smoking Skull. The Rock actually held the Big Eagle. The Rock actually held the big logo. He held the world title. I mean, that's pretty much where my collection is going. And as you can see, I'm watching The Talking Dead, and CM Punk is there. After she gets out of the screen of talking, he's actually to her right or left. There he is, right there. He is alive, people. He's just not coming back to WWE anytime soon, if ever again. At least I've come to that conclusion. But anyways, back to on topic. So basically, that's why I would keep these belts. Now, that being said, if a cast version of the Undisputed will come out, I'll definitely hop on top of that. There's never going to be a cast version of the WWF logo of either of these 2 belts. But if they were to come out with a cast version of the WWE Smoking Skull, I'd definitely consider it, as I am considering getting a WWE cast Big Eagle. I did see one at a SmackDown show. A guy had it, and The detail is definitely amazing on it. And he actually was looking for a WWF version, and I had it with me, but I wasn't gonna trade it with him because the logo means that much to me. If if the Big Eagle was actually used in WWE for a little while with a WWE version, I'd consider it. But it wasn't. It never will be. So, I'm content with what I have. So, pretty much, you wanted an answer. I can't come up with 5. I would say the Winged Eagle, but I mentioned that earlier that I actually prefer the cast version or the next generation version of the Winged Eagle because of the lack of detail of that belt. There's really no other belt that comes to mind, honestly. Because, well, I've had almost not every replica 2mm thick, but damn sure I had enough of them. Like the Intercontinental, I wouldn't be able to have that belt in my collection. I had 4 of them. I tried, but I couldn't. I'm talking about the WWF block logo. I just couldn't hold on to that belt because, again, it's a belt with the detail. I guess because it doesn't have as much paint on the belt. As you can see, like the Big Eagle doesn't have a lot of paint, but I guess it has the globe in blue and whatnot, and the detail wasn't that bad. But the IC didn't have a lot of paint. It was based on the detail, and that's why the cast IC is amazing because of the detail and because of the white paint. Sorry, I'm kind of like dozing off with my thoughts, but that's pretty much it. I don't have any other 2mm thick belt that I would actually keep. These are probably the only 4. Definitely, those would be the only 3. I can't even think of 5. Other people will. Other people will think. Other people will want the Winged Eagle. Just because of the block logo. Other people would want the Intercontinental title because of the block logo and the history. And that's fine. Because I understand the history, and you can see right here, I can definitely understand and relate to the history. But it's just detail does mean somewhat a lot to me. Like the Big Gold, the WWE Big Gold, the prime example. Or the WCW Big Gold. They do have some 4mm thick belts, but if they don't cast that belt, I'm never getting rid of that bootleg Big Gold. Because, let's face it, after you have a real Big Gold, or Classic Shields Big Gold, or any bootleg Big Gold, the detail on a Figs Big Gold is like a drawing, I guess you can compare it to. Like it's day and night, and that's just me, and that's just how I feel. So anyways, I'm dragging this video out. I'm gonna end it here. These are my answer, Todd. Sorry for dragging it on and on about a bunch of different things. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, subscribe to Todd's channel. Check him out. Respond to this video with the belt, with 5 belts that 2mm thick that you would keep if you had to or whatnot. Check out the Facebook page, Championship Belt Universe. Comment, rate, share, subscribe. Haters keep hating, and I'll check you guys out later. Peace.